we're going to watch that Anna Nicole Smith movie, the one where she has the thunder thighs. And that reminded me of last winter when I was a judge in the Miss Hawaiian Tropic Contest down in Miami Beach. Did I mention that to you guys? Yeah, I spend a certain number of days a year volunteering my time for various charities. So anyway, perhaps you're not familiar with the rules at a professional bikini contest. You think you're just going to sit there and quaff a few brews while the high-heeled beach bunnies slink by you. I think not. This is serious business. Listen to this. Do not judge on crowd response. That's the first rule on the printout they give you at Miss Hawaiian Tropic. Now, this is a tough one when you have 500 crazed party animals gathered around the swimming pool on South Beach ready to howl at the slightest imbalance in the halter top jiggle, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. Okay, second rule, judge on overall beauty, not one particular asset or lack of such. I like the way they say that, lack of such. Fortunately, I was sitting next to one of the past Miss Hawaiian Tropics, who was also a judge, and she filled me in on that. It means don't vote for big breasts. And I asked her, so why didn't they say don't vote for big hooters on here? And she says, well, it's because, see, the audience will always cheer for big breasts, but big breasts don't look that great in a bikini ad. And I said, well, if it's a bikini ad for Melon's Monthly Magazine, it might look... And then she didn't talk to me anymore. Anyway, it says on here, don't count off for cosmetic enhancements as long as it looks appropriate. Now, what does that mean? If it looks appropriate, how do we know it's a cosmetic enhancement? And then this one was interesting to me. Vote the way you feel, not the way your neighbor feels. So, of course, what was I doing? Staring at my neighbor's ballot the whole time, who happened to be Ben Williams of the Minnesota Vikings. Now, any of you guys ever seen Ben Williams? You know who I'm talking about? Shoulders the size of Montana. The man is an office building. So the first thing you have to do is choose the 15 finalists out of 55 girls. So we've already seen 44 girls. I'm looking at Ben's ballot. He's only voted for one girl. I say, Ben, you got to vote for 15 girls. There's only 11 girls left. Why aren't you voting? And he says, well, I've only seen one girl who was outstanding. I mean, they're good-looking girls, but I think for Miss Hawaiian Tropic, you need to be outstanding. I ain't going to vote for them unless they're outstanding. And I said, life is good in the NFL, isn't it, Ben? But here's what was interesting to me about the crowd reaction. There were some girls in this contest who were professional models. They had perfect bodies, perfect faces. They knew how to walk. They had the attitude. Moderate applause, you know? Sheila is a full-time model who has appeared on the cover of Vogue and in many other magazines. Clap, clap, big deal, right? Then the announcer says, Kimberly is a part-time aerobics instructor who works at Hooters in Vero Beach. Standing ovation! The crowd goes wild. You know, I personally thought these girls from Brazil were the most beautiful. They had these impossible bodies, waists that were like 8 inches around, hair that would normally take 9 days to get it looking this good. The crowd would start to get excited, and then the announcer would say the word Brazilian or the word Swedish or whatever, some foreign country, and it'd be like, clap, clap, okay, pretty good, no big deal. But then Ellen is a substitute teacher in Orlando. Crowd goes berserk, oh! If Ellen looks kind of normal, you know, which just proves that I think what I think is beautiful, what you think is beautiful are two different things, and we shouldn't be so hung up on it, right? Except for, you know, real ugly, because some people fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down, so nothing you can do about that. Okay, so far there are only about 8 subplots, right? Is anybody following this? I saw this one when it first came out, and I still can't follow it. One thing I do know, though, is that we just missed some major footage of Anna Nicole Smith in her hot tub. She was, whew, she was Rubenesque. You know how they always say that? I'm 5'3", perky, Rubenesque. You know what that means? It means when you put your foot in a high heel, it oozes out the sides like a balloon animal. Anyway, we had a nice lingering shot of a butt in a thong. We had a makeout session with Anna Nicole Smith. Michael Nuri made into a baked Alaska, multiple exploding modes of transportation, and a ninja in a fire suit. And how about that double Godfather homage with the wedding intercut with the Hitmen, that whole Ave Maria thing? They actually managed to rip off 2 Godfather scenes at the same time. I also like the cinema verite photography they got going. Cinema verite, meaning looks like Dad's home movies after he's had one too many gin and tonics. Okay, I forgot to do the drive-in totals. So the original version has 74 dead bodies and 17 breasts, but TNT has wheedled that down to 36 dead bodies, and it kills me to say this, no breasts. Guys shoved out of a copter, Hoover Dam high diving, 2 exploding copters with fireballs, exploding van with fireball, flaming ninja, strangulation, 4 gun battles with 2 fireballs, 2 motor vehicle chases with 3 crash and burns, neck stabbing, death by masseuse, CD-ROM to the forehead, gratuitous bachelor party strippers, bad exotic dancing, which should be impossible, but trust me, it happens in this movie, 3 Playboy Playmates, and 2 Miss Cuervo goals, Kung Fu, Bimbo Fu, 2.5 stars. Quick, name the 2 Miss Cuervo goals in this movie. Rebecca Ferrati. We learned that when we showed Embrace of the Vampire. Rebecca plays the bride here. And Anna Nicole Smith was a Miss Cuervo Gold. She earned the title because of her party spirit. And it shows, doesn't it? You know, she's got that party spirit hanging out all over the place, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. I always knew that Anna Nicole was a big woman, but she's like a big woman. When she hoses down in the shower, they have to letterbox that scene, you know? When she arches her back, it looks like a couple of space aliens are springing out of her chest. You should really go down to Charlie's Video Palace to get the uncut version of this. It is worth it.
We'll be back with Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night and To the Limit after these messages.
Well, it just doesn't get much better than this, does it? Anna Nicole Smith in her film debut as a Kung Fu secret agent in a high-speed, backwards motor vehicle chase, eventually ending when she rams her car into a helicopter in order to cause it to explode, but then drives out the other side of the fireball. And right before that, we had Joey Travolta emoting in Nam. Wait! Could this be? Yes, it is. It's a classic by PM Entertainment. PM Entertainment is Joe Murray and Rich Pepin. They produced B-movies like Cell Block Sister, Banished Behind Bars, and The Silencers, which we've shown on this show, and Skyscraper, another Anna Nicole Smith classic. And this one where they hired Joey Travolta to write himself sex scenes with Anna Nicole. Not a bad deal for Joey. He actually wrote it with 2 other guys, one being the director, Raymond Martino. Raymond cast his entire family in this movie. The surgeon who looked like he smeared ragu all over his scrubs, that was Ray's brother, Paul. Paul Sr. is in the next scene. He plays Louis. And the gal who plays the niece, that's Melissa Martino. Do we know how Melissa's related? No? Okay. We'll be back in a bit. So hard to keep all those Martinos straight, you know. They've all got that Martino acting gene, though. Do we know how many Oscars the Martinos have? No? Okay. How many principal characters in this movie so far? About 18, right? Now, how many did Aristotle say were needed for the ideal story? That would be 3, wouldn't it?
More in a moment with Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night and To the Limit after these messages.
Branscombe Richmond as Don, who just got the hypodermic to the neck. You may know him as Bobby Sixkiller on Renegade, which according to the Branscombe Richmond fan club, yes, it does exist, is the second most watched TV show in the world after Baywatch. Or perhaps you know him from his band, Branscombe Richmond and the Renegade Posse. He's also one of about 900 producers on this movie, a list that includes Joey Travolta, Ray Martino, John Aprea, who plays Philly Bambino. So basically a bunch of actor friends got together and said, hey, let's each put in $100 and make a movie. Joey, Ray, and Bill can write it, and if the script's no good, we'll just have Anna Nicole Smith run around in her underwear. That'll work. Okay, back in a few. Have I mentioned that Anna Nicole is a big woman? She's what the New York Post would call a portly pepper pot. Every time they talk about Monica Lewinsky, they say, the portly pepper pot was seen leaving the restaurant. You know, if Anna Nicole and Monica ever got on a trampoline together, we could have flesh pile meltdown, couldn't we? Unlike, by the way, unlike the former Monster Vision male girl who is also in this movie. See if you can pick her out in this next section. Not at all a portly pepper pot. Blonde in all the right places. A long, lean lollipop is what she is.
We'll be back with Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night and To the Limit after these messages.
That was Playboy Playmate of the Year and, more importantly, former Monster Vision male girl Kathy Shower as the wife of the philandering Joey Bambino. Did you like her big emotional moment? I ain't no neighborhood girl and I won't put up with it anymore. Unfortunately, we missed her best scene. She's having sex with her husband while he's watching the basketball game. and a news report comes on about the bombing, and he drops her on the floor in the middle of sex. Anyway, nobody around here would ever drop Kathy, because Kathy's kind of the Joe Besser of male girls. You know that reference? You know in the Three Stooges there was Curly, Curly Joe, Joe DeRita, Shemp, and then that guy that was a stooge for just 1 year, Joe Besser, you know? Well, that's Kathy. She was the interim male girl. All right, I have a question. When Anna Nicole Smith was telling Joey Travolta that the disc was stolen, did she actually say stolden? Can we play that part back? Can we just rack that up for a minute and play that back? Play that back for me, okay?
We had the documentation to hang his ass.
What do you mean had?
It was stolen.
She did. She said it was stolen, didn't she? Roll that again. Roll it again. Rack it up and roll it again.
It was stolen.
Anna, honey, you're giving retired Texas strippers a bad name. Did she ever get any money out of that 89-year-old guy she married on his deathbed? Because last I heard, her lawyers were still working on that. Anyhow, Anna Nicole's big emotional scene is coming up after the ads. She also keeps calling Jameson, Jamison. Jamison stole it. See, the producers made a mistake. They dressed her in baggy clothes in that scene. You think I would have noticed the little verbal typo if her true talents weren't concealed like that in the scene? I think not. Also, why did her hair change from blonde to black? Did they explain that? Is that part of her CIA super agent disguise or something? Well, you might be able to change that hair color, but there's no way you're going to hide that produce, if you know what I mean.
More in a moment with Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night and To the Limit after these messages.
Okay, who are these people and what are they doing to me? Oh, I can't, please. Can I get Cliff's Notes or something on this movie? We got a thug who looks like a drag queen, a dominatrix, a guy getting run over, or as Anna Nicole would say, runned over. And of course, the dreaded peanut butter and jelly scene, because I know when I see peanut butter and jelly sitting on the counter, I immediately think, oh, it's a kidnapping. I should point out that Elvis the Thug is played by Gino Denti, lead singer for the 70s disco band Gino Denti and the Whole Family, which might explain his makeup. Okay, we'll be back to the flick in a second. You guys know what salami and cheese out on the counter means? Bank robbery. Tuna salad, double homicide. Just have to know how to read those signs. Benny, Louie, got a job for you. That's half the dialogue in this movie. Gino, Willie, cut it out. Frankie, don't let that get to you. Enzio, have a bagel. Rico, get me a hooker.
We'll be back with Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night and To the Limit after these messages.
Wait, Michael Nouri gave the disc to the Chubster niece from the Catholic Church? Is that why she's been carping about wanting to see Uncle Frank for 3 dang months? So let me get this straight. Michael Nouri, winner of the Best Actor Award at the Catalonian International Film Festival in Sitka, Spain in 1987 for the immortal The Hidden, knowing he was going to get made into steak flambe in his sedan, sent the mystery CD-ROM, which is presumably destroys the world. I have no idea what the CD-ROM does, to the niece of Joey Travolta. Okay, meanwhile, Joey is having these flashbacks to the time when he accidentally killed the granddaughter of a general, which might explain why female ninjas are trying to kill him every 5 minutes. There's 194 subplots in this movie. I have no idea. And speaking of Joey Travolta, you know, we hadn't talked about Joey yet. May not be as famous as his brother John, but Joey is an actor, writer, producer, and director. Laws of Deception with C. Thomas Howell. Remember that one? Joey is a quadruple hyphenate like myself. Okay, commercials, then back to the flick. Hard Vice from 1994. You guys don't know your Joey Travolta movies very well, do you? And did you like that kidnapping subplot? Calm down, Frank. We know you want to kill the son of a bitch. We do too, but we got to make a plan, okay? Hey, Benny. Hey, Louie, get over here. Hey, Frank, we're ready. And then she steps off the bus for no apparent reason. There was no kidnapping. That whole thing was out the window. Where is Robert McKee, the screenwriting professor? I'm asking Bob about this one.
More in a moment with Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night and To the Limit after these messages.
Quite a security guard, wasn't he? Two guys go past him with guns drawn in a Las Vegas casino, and he's like, interesting. Whole bunch had to be excised from the TNT version, especially the big aardvarking scene with the secret agent posing as a UNLV co-ed massage artist hooker. See, it didn't make sense because what she was actually doing was rubbing the guy with oil, only instead of oil, she was sneaky and she rubbed gasoline on him. Nobody would ever smell that, would they? We wouldn't notice that. Okay, we mentioned before that Anna Nicole was a blonde and then changed to brunette. I guess you noticed she's back to blonde. Talk about your versatile actress. See, PM Entertainment, they tried to do the Tracy Lords thing with Anna Nicole. They give her as few words to speak as possible, but she has about 20 lines of actual dialogue in the movie, which is about, 19 too many. So the gal really needs to head for one of those L. Ron Hubbard acting classes out here in L.A. or something. Anyway, and whatever happened to Anna Nicole Smith? Hadn't seen her around town lately. Where's A&E biography when you really need them?
We'll be back with Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night and To the Limit after these messages.
When in doubt, go to the Hoover Dam, that staple of the action film finale. In this case, Jack Bannon, as the freebasing tattooed S&M freak who runs the CIA, gets his forehead embedded with a razor-sharp CD-ROM. Who knew those things were so lethal? And did you guys like that Old West symbolism they had during the shootout? Where was that supposed to be? Because I don't know about too many abandoned ghost towns in the Las Vegas suburbs. Anyhow, I want to remind you that next week's flicks are Somewhere in Time. That's right, I said it. The ultimate chick flick will be here on this show as Christopher Reeve goes back in time to have a romance on a Michigan island with Jane Seymour. And we'll follow that up with The Fear, where a life-size Pinocchio named Morty terrorizes a bunch of New Agers. And to check out our new Joe Bob's Hollywood Saturday Night website, you need to go to tnt.turner.com/JoeBob, or you can email me at joebob@turner.com. And that's it for me, Joe Bob Briggs, wondering, when blondes have more fun, do they know it? Did you guys hear the one about the blonde, the brunette, and the redhead who escaped from a women's prison? They sneak into this hayloft for the night, and the brunette finds 3 gunny sacks, and they climb inside them to hide. So the sheriff comes to the hayloft and he tells the deputy to go check that out. The deputy finds the gunny sacks on the floor, and he wants to know what's in them, so he kicks the one with the brunette inside there, and the brunette says, "Woof!" So the deputy thinks it's a dog, and he goes on to the next one. He kicks the sack with the redhead in it, and the redhead says, "Meow." The deputy thinks it's a cat in there, so he kicks the sack with the blonde in it, and nothing happens. So he kicks it again, and the blonde yells out, "Potatoes." Joe Bob Briggs reminding you that the drive-in will never die. This girl has a lisp, so she goes to see a doctor about it. And at the start of the exam, the doctor holds up his stethoscope, and he says, "Big breath." The girl says, "Yes, and I'm not even 16.